Hello everyone, welcome back to Blackjack. I'm Blackjack Aviati and this is Death Battle, and I have a message for you, and that message is... because that is how much I know about either of these characters. I know what series they're from because it's right there in the title. I've never heard of Grey before. I only know Esdeath because people kept commenting about her in requests, and... yeah, apparently she's like big evil. So, but I only remember her name because it sounds like Esdeath from Final Fantasy V. So I thought people were confusing how to spell it. I was like, did they really do a new spelling and didn't tell anyone? And they're like, no, it's a girl. She's from a Kamiga Kill. And I'm like, okay. Gotta take your word for that. Goodness, you can see the microphone red light reflected in my glasses. Okay.
The element of ice is cold and unforgiving. Literally! Only in an equally frigid and unmerciful land can one understand its true potential.
Like that was already open.
Fullbuster, Ice Mage of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Fullbuster?
And Esdeath, the Imperial General from a Kamiga Kill.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
It's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright. Some smooth sprites.
In a land far, far away lies the kingdom of Fiore.
Hey, that's where one of the Pokemon Ranger games took place.
Was living their best life in Magic Town.
Grey Fullbuster was a child of the North, living among the frigid cold.
Until
a former smoker, alright. Good for him quitting.
Grey survived, though everyone else wasn't so lucky. But hey,
what's with this show and Last Survivors?
This was and she just so happened to be one of the greatest ice mages in the world.
So
grabbed the wrong one.
Training. Who else is gonna take out that creepy demon for revenge and
no
justice, right? And he needed to master ice magic to do it.
Grey worked tirelessly and eventually.
So the stripping is actually part of the storyline. Endurance
essentially crafting weapons, tools, and other inanimate objects out of ice.
Swords, shields, hammers, grappling hooks, stairs, clones of himself. Anything he wants, really. He can even whip out a friggin' ice bazooka.
Unison Raid performs with Juvia. That was the woman?
Became a regular Chippendale himself. Yeah, he really never stopped doing that.
But with powerful magic at his beck and call, Grey became reckless, desperate to prove himself and destroy the demon. Sadly, this carelessness would change his life for the worse one more time.
Yeah.
He tried to take the demon out himself, but
you've got something to say.
Great. Even with his shiny new powers. Whoa. Grey learned how to do all this cool ice magic by stripping?
Well...
Ice magic, here I come! Oil me up, Wiz!
No.
Why oil?
Moving clothes was just part of training. See, she instructed Grey to do so in order to adapt to the cold to better resist it, letting him have a much greater range when it comes to his own ice magic.
Why didn't you say that 5 seconds earlier?
He just has that installed.
My favorite shirt.
Anyway, Grey was outmatched by the demon, and was forced to step in with her ultimate spell, Ice Shell.
It's a super handy move that can freeze a giant demon like that for good.
At the cost of the caster's life.
Alright.
There it is.
Yeah, of course.
Big oof. If that's not bad enough, Grey learned an ultimate version called Lost Ice Shell. This one also kills you.
Lost Ice Shell.
Also erases the memories of you from everyone who ever knew you.
Sure, the Lost Ice Shell is hundreds of times more powerful and basically a guaranteed win move if he has enough time to cast it. But how does that even work? Say Grey cut off your arm, leaving you handicapped for years, then Lost Ice Shelled himself elsewhere. That would be a very confusing day.
Is that how I lost my leg? Wonder who it was I knew. Well, speaking of lost, Grey Filibuster had
Isn't it yourself?
At this point.
But once again, he found new footing and new friends, this time with the mages of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Including a clingy, blue-haired water lady, Juvia.
Okay, that's the one.
Everybody does, including them.
Now full from a serious helping of humble pie, Grey changed his tune. No longer would he be a reckless avenger, but a cautious, laid-back defender of his new friends. Which works out since this is the sort of world where fighting for your friends actually increases your magical power. True story.
You could say he started keeping a cool head, huh? Yep, no more demon hunting for him.
Is he eating pickled plums?
Demon killing magic. magic, of course.
After becoming an ice
Okay, let's see. Similar in power to Natsu and Urza. So, okay. If only their battles hadn't been seasons ago. Okay. Stood magical ice. Duped. I'm assuming that's someone who knows him since they have the same surname. Survived ice that can freeze magical fire.
Gray learned how to devour ice to replenish his power, become extremely resistant to ice attacks, mess around with other people's ice magic, and conjure spells designed to kill demons.
Which would have been really, really handy just a little bit ago. Oh well, with all this magic, ice mages can wipe out an entire town.
But he's not experienced with using it. It's just been confirmed he has it.
By comparing Invil's ice storm to the scale of Fiori, based on official maps, it appears the force and energy of the storm would be equivalent to more than 27 gigatons of TNT.
Now that's a big-ass storm.
It's 1/20th its usual size.
On par with fellow guildies Natsu and Urza. Natsu has dodged lightning, and Urza blew up this giant meteor all by herself.
You know, I wonder if they ever have Tidus, are they going to put in the lightning dodging feat? That you got it to 200 times?
Between the meteor and land in this shot, then comparing its size to Urza in this one, we found that Urza must have been moving over 20,000 times the speed of sound to intercept it, striking it with a force of over 50 teratons of TNT.
So did they cover that in her battle?
Especially since Urza wasn't even at her full strength.
Truly, as long as
He's wearing some Blaziken pants there.
He is a fierce warrior who will always fight for his friends.
All right.
I will all of my own. And it says my friends and I are going to walk the path of life.
As a child, Esdeath lived among her clan in the northern frontier, hunting giant monsters called danger beasts with her father.
Danger beasts, huh?
That's how you raise a kid. Look at the
Name inspired by the Japanese phrase for I am a sadist.
However, Esdeath's destiny would lie further south, among a 1,000-year-old empire.
Because what do you know? Her whole clan got wiped out, leaving her
Why does this not want to stay?
a lone survivor. Now, normally
She's 5'7", and only that.
Friendship and appreciating what you have.
Good lord.
But that's not what happened.
Right.
She looks fairly
Esdeath
muscular
described herself to a sort of survival
and,
of the
you know,
fittest philosophy.
large busted.
To her, if her
So how is she so
father
light?
went for her, that
Oh, well,
didn't mean
because
she
it's
should be
anime and they
sad
don't
or angry.
have any
That
idea
meant
to
her
freaking
father was weak.
do weight height
Finally,
logically.
somebody knows what I'm talking about. That's my power of friendship. This girl's got it all figured out.
Well, now on her own, and maybe a bit insane, Esdeath joined the militant ranks of the widespread empire, where her violent nature found a new calling.
Yeah, like when she
All
buried
right.
400,000 people alive. Mama Boomstick always told me you should enjoy your work, so good for her, I guess.
I was very confused by this in the preview. I had to ask in the Death Battle Discord because it mentions this before it talks about her ice powers. So I thought they were doing it chronologically, but no.
That would change everything. A Tegu.
Esdeath was already extremely
As opposed to
proficient
a
with swords,
Tengu,
but
which
this
is something else
something
altogether.
entirely different. A Tegu is a supernatural relic forged from the remnants of special danger beasts. They can take the form of anything from a battle axe to a flute to a giant pair of scissors. However,
With
Esdeath chose one
panda on
so
it.
unique, most were absolutely terrified of it. It was blood, the demon's extract.
And because she's a totally sane and normal person.
Demonic in name only. Okay. So that means that's not actually going... Because I did have a question about that. Because his power can kill demons and her power comes from demons. I was going to say, because she's not an actual demon, it's not really going to... Will that play into it? You know, just because you get power from something doesn't mean that something made to kill that thing is going to, you know, be especially strong against you. But yeah, okay. So it's not actually a demon at all, so that just throws the whole thing out the window.
All of it. Okay.
After surviving the side effects, you know, the usual headaches, nausea, maddening voices in her head telling her to kill everyone, Esdeath earned...
Well, she was already telling herself
Ice
that,
magic,
so...
bitches! She can make and shape ice out of thin air. Weapons, shields, platforms, horses, frickin' meteors. You name it, she can make it. Plus, she can fly by holding herself in the air with ice, and once built an entire army of ice horse people. Look at them all. There's thousands of them.
Centaurs. They're
Well,
called
it did take her a
centaurs.
few days to make them all, implying she has a limit to her ability.
I wonder though, does that mean she was making them individuals? Or was she saying this one's going to be 3 inches shorter, this one's going to be lighter, etc.? Does it mean she was working on individual traits, or are they carbon copies of each other? That might add to the
her enormous power
frame.
Is clear. She can even
How
create
long
a
it
giant
took.
suit of armor around herself like some sort of icy mech.
So she's a super deadly ice lady, but she's also got a soft side.
Even with all the power she held, not even sadistic conquest or unstoppable ice magic could fill the void in her heart. Esdeath sought one thing above all else: love.
The Ice Queen needs some loving.
I might try my hand at being in love.
So does she, apparently. She made a list of the
Be
specific qualities in
fearless.
her
Could not have been
ideal
raised
man,
near the
who turned out
capital.
to be this guy, Tatsumi.
What? Really? Oh, some dopey generic anime protagonist kid.
Well, he literally is an anime protagonist.
Oh, come on, he's like a 3 out of 10 and she's not even on the chart. She's way too good for him.
Is she?
Oh, right, she's crazy. Even better!
Deranged sadism aside, there is one skill of hers which impresses above all else: Mahoptima.
Gesundheit. It's a time stop.
We're in Persona all of a sudden.
It freezes time, but like literally freezes it with cold.
Okay.
This makes no sense.
Anyway, Esdeath got to work, leading her new
Okay, slaughtered many danger beasts. Defeated Susanoo. He keeps showing up at everything. Killed 400,000 people in one move, said to be equal to 1 million soldiers. A lot of those soldiers aren't moving their weight there. Covered a continent in an ice storm. Well, that's much more than a single country. Dodged lightning. I don't know who Nomaseka is and why it's notable that she broke their sanity, but...
doing as many awesome things as she could to impress that Tatsumi brat. Once she froze an entire river with 0 effort. Imagine how many slushies you could make with that.
That isn't even a fraction of her true potential. After absorbing those tens of thousands of ice cavalry, Esdeath harnessed enough power to create an icy storm that spanned an entire continent. Comparing its
Setting it to webcam all of a
diameter,
sudden.
producing a storm of this scale
Not
would require a kinetic energy over 280 petatons of TNT.
Alright.
Super impressive. But remember, it took her, quote, a few days to make that many ice people.
Alright.
Essentially stockpiling a lot more power than she would normally be.
How long did it take her to make the storm?
But Esdeath has tangled with the toughest rebels out there. A Kami who can dodge lightning, and dumb old Tatsumi who was strong enough to outmuscle this absolute unit of a Tega called, Chico Taser. What's up with all these made-up German words?
Shikoteza, or the Primus Imperator, was powerful enough to create a massive crater outside the imperial capital. To make a crater of this size, the blast must have equaled over 900 teratons of TNT.
Alright.
And Esdeath is even more hardcore. Get this, one time her arm was poisoned, but before she let the poison spread to her body, she karate chopped her whole freaking arm off and replaced it with an ice sword. Yes!
Sadly, or luckily, depending on where you stand, all the power in the world wasn't enough for Esdeath to win Tatsumi's love.
She couldn't just
And
cut
she didn't even get to conquer the world either, because the main title character had to ruin everything.
But in the end, she didn't lament her failure to conquer, or see herself as weak. Rather, she simply regretted not being able to look at Tatsumi one more time. Perhaps her cold philosophy was growing a bit warmer. Or maybe she was just an insane psychopath.
Or both.
I will always be on top. I will always be victorious, no matter what gets in my way.
Jeez, her voice sounds really familiar.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, all this talking has made me hungry.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut up.
With more options than ever.
Okay, well, it honestly sounds like Gray doesn't stand a freaking chance, especially finding out that Esdeath's demonic power isn't actually even from a demon. So, yeah.
Such a paltry country is hardly worth conquering.
Hey! Take your troops and get out!
No. Fight!
Oh, just what I needed. Another crazy, blue-haired woman in my life.
I already have a boyfriend! Kind of!
You have no right to feel my boot against your face. Now. Die for me!
Ice make, crescent flame.
Jeez, his arm must be real sore. It stopped bleeding.
Take this.
Ooh, got through her shield. Interesting.
Cannon.
Very nice.
Nice. Very nice. What?
Thanks for the meal. Ice make, impact. Ice devil, zero longsword.
Okay. Oh, well. Ice sword. Ice arm sword. How many? Come on! Don't do this to me!
Let me remind you who you're talking to. I am Kasumi Yoshi's.
Okay, good for you.
Too much.
You are interrupting my show.
I have no choice.
Uh-huh.
Ice.
Everything in sight will be encased in ice.
He can break through her time control? Interesting.
Congratulations and goodbye.
Kind of expected him to just shatter after a second.
Just in, male stripper found dead after a crazy night with a dominatrix gone wrong. 4 at 7.
Let's get to this. This was certainly an interesting matchup, and both cryomancers held their own advantages.
Oh yeah, Gray's awesome.
Does she count as a dominatrix when she's not doing it for sexual pleasure?
At his frosty fingertips, like how he could eat ice to replenish his magic. She sure didn't see that one coming.
Though being the tactician she is, Esdeath likely wouldn't fall for any of Gray's tricks more than once. Also, both were in the same range of speed by scaling to feats of dodging lightning.
Yeah.
But the Queen of Cold Cake definitely had more ice power up her sleeves. Just look at those storms. The one Grayscale's 2 covered a country, while Esdeath's covered a whole continent.
True,
Nice.
but we still had to deduce the exact nature and potential of her storm. Remember, Esdeath specifically claimed it took her a few days to make the ice cavalry.
Okay, I don't know what these
fuel
modes
for the
mean.
storm. A few generally means 3 at minimum. So we can cut the yield of our previous calculation to 1/3. Lowballing this a bit, let's assume she used all of her power each day to make 1/3 of the total cavalry. This
Okay.
would mean Esdeath could wield about 93 petatons worth of energy on a
Dang.
daily basis.
Yeah, that's
And possibly more. Again, are we being, like, are these identical, or do they have, like, the Terracotta Warriors of Xi'an, differences in each one? Which, you know, can make an army stronger or possibly weaker. I don't know. But it would mean that they don't all have the same weakness.
than Invel's ice storm, and 1,600 times deadlier than that
All
meteor
right.
Urza obliterated.
What if they come out with a new issue? Oh yeah, he could ultimately survive ice magic hundreds of times stronger than his own.
Esdeath definitely had the advantage in sheer magic power. Even with his better resistances, there's no way Gray could survive that much magic force. So he really only had one shot, the Lost Ice Shell.
Which certainly could have ended things right then and there, if not for Esdeath's time stop ability. Both the ice shell
Looks
and
like he could
Mahatma
get
could
the-
only be
yeah,
used
he could get
once,
through that.
But Mahoptima was more useful given its immediate effect compared to the Ice Shell's long casting time, and its versatility in that Esdeath could follow it up with whatever she wanted.
Also, it doesn't kill her, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Sure.
Technically, Gray's Ice Devil Slayer magic means he could probably resist the Mahoptopotamus a bit. But then
Yeah.
Tatsumi had crazy good cold resistance too, and it didn't do him much good against the time freeze.
Gray's speed and versatility meant he could hold his own. But Esdeath's awesome power, uniquely suited time freezing, and domineering perseverance saw her through this battle.
Looks like Esdeath stopped Gray cold.
The winner is
Come on, you should have anticipated that.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle. If you want the battle music for yourself, you can get it by clicking the link down below. And if you want to watch more stuff,
Okay, come on.
box is right over
Who we
there.
got? Who we got next time? You're serious. You're serious. How? Oh, Machamp does have it is much faster. Much faster than Goro. And probably more versatile. But there also aren't any iconic Machamps like there are with Lucario or anything to do like a what is this species capable of its highest. Goro has years and years of training and is smarter. Because Machamp, again, is a wild animal. You guys are freaking serious. Goro versus Machamp. Huh. I mean, it's not an automatic stomp like one might think, but I don't know. It seems like a mismatch. Even though it could make for a good fight, it seems like a mismatch. Just because, you know, you're pairing a wild animal against, you know, a trained warrior. And at least when they did Pikachu versus Blanca, that was, you know, Blanca's also kind of a wild animal. Well, again, I don't know anything about either of these characters, so I don't really have anything to say. I'm assuming that everything there was correct. It was interesting that he could break through the time control. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this battle. The animation was nice and fluid. They really need to work on some of their facial animations, though. Like when Esdeath was talking and she would have her face slightly turned, they gave her like a 5 o'clock shadow for some reason. And I don't understand. Because when everything is being plotted out sprite by sprite, you'd think that they would notice things like that. But yeah, next time, it's really going to depend on what moves they give Machamp. Are they going to stick with the four moves rule? Because I don't think they should. They're probably going to base it on Machamp in Pokken Tournament. Gosh. And no trainer, so no Gigamaxing, no Lola moves, etc. No, well, it doesn't have a Mega Evolution, does it? No, it doesn't. Goro versus Machamp. Hang on. I'm gonna go down. I said, Goro versus Machamp, are you taking the piss? The stripper versus the dominatrix. I wonder how this will go down. So anyway, how's everyone taking this quarantine? a few days ago, the senator said, stay the fuck inside. And apparently that was a suggestion because she hadn't actually given it as a proclamation. And so she did that today and everyone's saying it's too late. And it's like, you know, she said it a few days ago, guys. Just because it wasn't issued in legal language. I swear. You know what gets me? Is that people still have to be told how to wash their hands. You learned how to wash your hands when you were in preschool, if not before. How is it you got grown adults walking around who don't know how to wash their fucking hands? Come on. Or, you know, if they know how, still have to be told to do so. It's like you gotta force people to wash their hands. What kind of douchebag doesn't wash their hands on a regular basis, especially after going to the bathroom? It's like what? 30% of women and 80% of men don't wash their hands after using the restroom? It's 1% is too high. Oh, my Lord. I follow Chris Zito of Team 4-Star, and he was saying on his Twitter, it's like, yeah, I gotta be reminded to wash your hands. What are you, 12? And I'm thinking, 12 is too old to be reminded to wash your hands. So anyway, this is just my post-death battle rant about absolutely nothing to do with the actual battle. Goro versus... Okay, well, like I said, Machamp is much faster. Goro seems to be stronger, although that's mostly in pulling. Whereas Machamp, we haven't obviously seen that exact sort of thing, but we've seen it pulverize boulders into absolute powder. So I guess just powderize boulders. Goro has that move where he just jumps on you. I imagine any foe who's ready for it could just catch him by the feet. I don't know. It just kind of seems like they could have come up with some more suitable opponents, because Machamp is kind of unremarkable in a way. Because, you know, it doesn't have any sort of big names, like with Lucario vs. Renamon is right in my recommended. You know, Lucario, they could point to Sir Aaron's Lucario and Karina's Lucario as notable members of the species with notable feats. You know, Pikachu, they could point to Ash's Pikachu. Charizard, they could point to Red's Charizard. Well, it's supposed to be Red's Charizard, but yeah, and yeah, it just kind of seems like they... I guess Karina also has a Machamp, but it's never the focus. Even in the actual games, it's never the focus. And Karina's not exactly a notable trainer either. She's a gym leader, but she's honestly one of the more forgettable ones. She has a peppy character design, but you know how it is. Okay, so that's enough rambling from me. I will see you all next time. Until next time, I am Blackjack Aviani, and you are not.